Om Shri Sai Ram. I offer my prayerful pranams at the lotus feet of our Divine Master, Bhagawan Shri Sathya Sai Baba. Respected elders, the chairman of the Shri Sathya Sai Global Council, the vice chairman and the All India president, the members of the GCC, my fellow delegates, and all the dignitaries who are present here, I offer my heartfelt greetings and convey my loving Sai Rams to you all. Today, this 11th World Conference is happening on the eve of a cosmic milestone, which is not just counting the years of the earthly sojourn of the advent of our beloved Master, but awakening to the reality of the phenomenon of Shri Sathya Sai, who is the supreme eternal being and from whom all the universes emerge and in whom they are sustained and ultimately into whom they all dissolve. Hence, this conference is not an ordinary one, and I request all of you to pay deep attention not to the speaker, but to the words which the speakers request the masters to speak through them. The topic for which I am here is the Shri Sathya Sai organizations, the mandate divine. We all are office bearers and the so-called senior office bearers of the organization. So you must be thinking, what was the need of such a topic in this conference? We all know what the mandate of the organization is, because we have been in the organization for past 30, 40 years and have been shouldering so many responsibilities. But I want to draw attention to one quote from Bhagawan, which he spoke on 17th May 1968 at the World Conference of the Shri Sathya Sai Seva Organizations. And I quote, "The presidents, vice presidents, and secretaries of Sathya Sai organizations from all over the world are here. You are officers of the Sai Army. How can you lead soldiers into the fray when you are not aware of the intricacies of warfare, when you yourselves are inefficient instruments?" This is Bhagawan's word. Hence, as our vice chairman during his inaugural address mentioned in the Kulwant Hall, that at the century, every batsman takes a fresh guard. So it is a time for us to take a fresh guard and introspect whether the organization runs as per the mandate of the divine or as per our version of his mandate. And hence, we take a deep dive into the mandate given by the divine himself. And for this purpose, I will request all of you to assume that we are not sitting in the PC hall. We are all sitting in the airport of this world. And from this airport, there is a direct flight, and the destination is divinity. And that flight is designed by the Master himself, and it is called the Shri Sathya Sai Seva Organizations. Of course, there are many other flights, lot of noise, lot of delays, lot of cancellations, but our focus is only on this divine flight, which is going to take us to the Master himself. And just for the purpose to suit the occasion, the flight number is Sai 100. And you know, it is only a hand baggage flight. No check-in baggage allowed. And the only hand baggage allowed is the baggage of love. Nothing more, nothing less. All other baggages, whether of medium size, cabin size, or XSL size, and I hope that we understand what I'm trying to indicate, they are not allowed at all on board this flight. And just for every flight, there are in-flight safety instructions. This flight also has got those instructions given by the master himself. And these are not restrictions upon us. In fact, these are his guidance so that we don't detour and we don't land at a different destination. Hence, Swami's mandates are a flight path and the navigation rules. They are not restrictive impositions by the divine. So now I jump into the first and the most foundational mandate which Bhagawan gave. On 6th January 1975, he spoke, the main objective of Sri Sathya Sai Seva organizations, which you must always keep before you, is to help man recognize the divinity that is inherent in him. And he already had repeated this earlier on 21st November 1970, where he said, the aim of this organization is to remove obstacles that keep man away from God, that separate Manavatva from Madhavatva. There can be no human, it is all divine. But then, what are these obstacles? We all know what are these obstacles, the malady of this prapancha. And he gave us a pin to remove those obstacles. And as we all know, the truth of the pin is that we all forget it. Right or wrong, so many pins we are dealing with, or the OTPs and the passwords which are dealing with our life, we tend to forget the most important pin which Bhagavan gave, and the acronym of pin to reach the destination of divinity is PIN. Practice is necessary. And hence, Bhagavan said, our organization must apply the touchstone of practice to any precept that the members might voice forth for profess. This is my desire. 22nd December 1971. And from here emanated a very, very important mandate from the divine as to how our organizations or the centers or the samiti must be. On April 21, 1967, Bhagavan said, and I quote, the organizations must be such that members find them congenial places to deepen their sadhana, to cultivate their virtues and to overcome their ego, not by contact with workers which are free from the least trace of that deadly poison. So the essence which Bhagavan was trying to convey is not activities, not programs, practice, a platform where members can practice his message and become what they are truly are. So with this, we are done with the core foundational mandate which Bhagavan gave. But then we have to also understand what is not the mandate. Because that is the beauty of Bhagavan. He does not say only what is to be done. He also said what is not to be done. And here, I would like to call them as syndromes, just for the purpose of keeping the environment light. Because these syndromes are essentially responsible for our detour and taking us to a totally different destination from what Bhagavan meant. So I come to the first syndrome, which Bhagavan warned us against. That is the publicity syndrome. Sai organizations have not been set up for propaganda purpose. We do not need any publicity. 6th World Conference of Sri Sathya Sai Seva Organizations, 21st November 1995. Now, you know, the problem with this syndrome is we serve silently, but our camera serves loudly. Sometimes our phone is doing more seva than the sevadal. The focus is the angle, not the act. The pose, not the seva. And while we are doing all this, Swami is smiling at us, thinking, you are trying to capture the moment, but I am trying to capture your heart. Brothers and sisters, service is not a press release. In Bhagavan's mandate, It is the heart release and with which he is concerned about. And that is why Bhagawan warned on 1st September 1970, social service should not become social service. SHOW, this is the word Bhagawan used, carried out for publicity or with the camera in view. Now we come to the next syndrome, which is, I call, the emotion syndrome. Out of our emotions, we forget what Bhagawan directed us. Our emotions take over his directions. And he said, I have not come to set afoot a new cult. I do not want people to be misled on this point. World Conference, May 17, 1968. Same discourse, Bhagawan again said, do not go about proclaiming that you are a sect distinct and separate from those who adore God in other forms and names. Do not give any importance to differences of religion or sect or status. Have the feeling of oneness. Only those who do so have a place in this organization. So, brothers and sisters, our organization is not a sect or a cult. It is like an ATM machine. And what kind of ATM machine? It does not accept only Visa or only Master or only Diners or only RuPay. It accepts every card. Whoever has any card, please come and draw the currency of love from us. That is our organization. And even if someone does not have that balance of currency, we give them overdraft. We don't restrict them. You earn the currency of love and settle the account by being a part of this organization. Hence, we have to keep this in mind. And I move on to the next syndrome, a very important one, the Fitbit syndrome. You know the fitness band we all wear? Now, you know what is the problem with the fitness band? And who wear it? They walk, but they don't walk for fitness. They walk for counting the numbers. 10,000 steps, 200 calories burnt. We do move, but it does not improve our health. So sometimes in our organization, at times we also behave like Fitbit. We count activities, numbers, and statistics, forgetting that activities are only the means. And one important dimension that we forget is that God does not use Excel sheets. He does not have a Power BI intelligence dashboard connected to the database. His metrics are totally different. And Bhagawan defined that metric on 19th November 1981 when he said, and I quote, God will not ask you when and where you did service. He will ask, with what motive did you do it? What was the intention that prompted you? You may weigh the seva and boast of its quantity, but God seeks quality, metric. The quality of the heart, another metric. The purity of the mind, another metric. And the sacredness of the motive. These are the three metrics on which Bhagawan judges everything what we do. Now I come to continuation of this, the activities syndrome. Sometimes we do so much that we forget, are we doing activities? Are we executing the activities or the activities are executing us? The essence of this syndrome is that we run, but we run on a treadmill, not moving anywhere. Our organization cannot be an activity execution machine bereft of transformation. And that is why Bhagawan, in as early as 21st November 1968, he said, the main aim of all activities in which you are engaged now and which you will take up in the future is, let me tell you, cleansing the mind. This is the only purpose. With this, I move to the next syndrome, the business class syndrome. You know, at the airport, when the announcement is made, business class passengers, please proceed to boarding. And suddenly, a group of people start looking at them and they walk confidently. Economy class passengers, please adjust. But in Swami's airline, there is no business class. There is no VIP class, no premium class, no privileged office bearer class, because Bhagawan created it as a classless organization with only one class, and that is the class of oneness, nothing else. And Bhagawan said, as we heard in the inaugural discourse, promote harmony among members. You cannot avoid making such distinctions as president, coordinator, member, and the like, but these distinctions are functional and have no place at the spiritual level. So these are all the optics purposefully designed to ensure that something goes right. These are not the part of the spiritual aspect of the organization. And Bhagawan has also said on 20th November 1990, the Sai organization have been set up for rendering service, not to establish official positions. Sometimes we tend to become so heavy and tend to oblige people by giving them unnecessary positions. Our mandate is following Bhagawan. Our allegiance is not to any individual except for Bhagawan. He is our divine master, because we are in the organization to reach him irrespective of the positions. We are in the organization. Despite the positions, we are in the organization. I wanted to quote something more from Bhagawan's quotations, but for the paucity of time, I would not do that. The next syndrome, the exclusive club syndrome. We are a club of Sai devotees, right? We are the Sai family. But Bhagawan specifically warned against it. He said on 21st November 1985, I am emphasizing another point today. You are using the name Sai family while addressing devotees and referring to yourselves as members of the Sai family. This is a narrow, restrictive expression. I have no limits or restrictions. I am in all for all. There can be no distinct Sai family. 21st November 1985. Another occasion, 25th August 1996. He said, some speakers use words like Sai devotees and Sai family in their speeches. All the people in this world belong to the same family. Then why should you specifically use such a term as Sai family? Brothers and sisters, when we do it, we create a divide, and we create another syndrome of identity syndrome, as if we know spirituality more than anyone else in the world. We are not here to create any exclusive club. It is not a Sai LinkedIn. It is not a Sai LinkedIn. It is an open platform where anybody, irrespective of his faith, caste, color, creed, and his allegiance to any form of the divine, can come and realize divine. So hence, if we become exclusive, we block not people, but his entry. Remember that. Now I move on to the last two syndromes. The my God syndrome. And Swami said, before I quote, I want to say, this is when we disregard other forms of Sai and insist on supremacy of the form we love or adore, and forget that Bhagawan said, all forms are mine, all forms are his forms. And he reminded on 17th May 1967, and I quote, only those who are ignorant of the glory of God will insist on the one name and one form for his adoration. And what is worse, condemn the use by others of other names and forms. Since you are all associated with the Sai organizations, I must warn you against such obduracy. I don't want to go into the details. I would want to lead the last sentence. Do not proclaim in your enthusiasm, we want only Sai. We are not concerned with the rest. You must convince yourself that all forms are Sais, all names are Sais. There is no rest. All are He. And when we do so in our own emotions, we restrict His glory. We limit Him out of our own ignorance. The next syndrome, the Sai promotion syndrome. As if Bhagawan has appointed us as His brand ambassadors. Brothers and sisters, we don't have that capability. Even if we try to do that to the best of our ability, we will be falling short by bounds and leaps. He said, nobody can understand me. how can we proclaim his divinity? He does not need us. The divine shines of its own accord. He is not dependent for the testimony from the man. And on 24th November 1998, Bhagawan said, if I wanted, the whole world would have been at my feet by now, but I do not want. So please understand that if we try to do it, we are again playing something. We are again infected by a syndrome. And I want to quote, Bhagawan said, you join the Samiti, you share in the activities for your own sake. And he also said on May 17, 1968, I have not got the slightest intention to utilize the Seva Samitis for propagating my name or canvass homage for my name. So these are syndromes which we should be trying to avoid. And when we get entangled into it, we basically forget the destination, that is self-transformation. And with this, I would want to conclude that our organization is not a showroom. It is a service center where the divine repairs our inner core. He did not create it so that the world may see him. He created it so that we may see him within. And at this juncture, we should ask one question. Did association with the organization make the individuals a little more like him? That is the measure. That is the milestone. And I would want to conclude with one prayer, and that is for Swami. The organization is not needed. It is for us to become Swami, our true identity and reality. And let us pray, Swami, let us not merely run the organization. Let the organization run through us as per your mandate, so that it continues to be what it is originally meant for. Jai Sai Ram.